man.
It's just weird to think about. I mean, I met Seth when he was in 1st grade.
That's crazy.
I was in 5th grade when me and Seth met. Like,
you guys are like, anytime I think about how old you are, man, I'm just like blown to my mind. Anytime I went to a Dean house, it was a good time. When you guys did
so many board games.
I think it was the first outside concert you guys did.
Yeah, that was for Joshua's birthday in June.
That one was a lot of fun. I remember Seth was wearing my sunglasses on stage. So I was sunglassless, but that was a lot of fun.
That was
you guys had some good times.
Yeah, that was an epic night, and then the party after that was fun too. And I mean, you got to experience that vibe for a bit before I kicked you out. I missed half the party because I was in the freaking room with
arguing.
Everybody started saying goodbye, and I'm like, huh? What's going on?
That sucks.
And you know, they were like, yeah, we're going to get Lazy Moon, and I was hungry, and I'm like, so I got to clean up everything and not get food?
All my friends have always been older my whole life. I remember my first friends, they lived next door to me, and I would go to, like, there was like a wooden fence, and then the fence became like metal chain fence, and there was a little spot where I could peek through and be like, hey, you guys want to hang out? I'm in like 2nd grade. They were in middle school already, but they hung out a lot. I remember one time they brought up periods, and they were like, you're going to hate this. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but now I remember it.
Oh my God.
They were warning me. They also told me fairies weren't real because they weren't in the Bible. That kind of sucked.
Like the tooth fairy?
No, I was outside sitting on my swing set at like dusk, and I love mushrooms. Like, I've always loved mushrooms. I think they're really pretty. And I thought, I don't know why, if I read it in a book or someone told me, at sunset, you know, the fairies come out and they dance on the top of the mushrooms. So I was out there looking for the fairies, and they hopped over the fence, and they were like, fairies aren't real. They're not in the Bible. I was like, I'm in the 1st grade, man. This kind of sucks. I want to go cry. Fairies aren't real, and if fairies aren't real, then like Santa Claus can't be real.
At the library where we, like nearby where we used to live, you can mail in your wish list, right?
To Santa Claus.
Right, okay. He sends back a letter, dear your name. I'm so glad that you want all these things. Just to let you know that times are very rough right now, but you know, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that the elves can deliver what you want. And I'm like, bet. That year, cool. Some stuff that I probably wanted was on there. Following year, the same letter. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, that's how I found out. And I was young. I was definitely younger than 8. But to figure it out like that, I was like, this is the exact same letter, like word for word.
Santa Claus, what's going on?
And then, yeah, I got nothing on my wish list. And I was like, this is a load of bullshit. Like, what the heck? And then my mom was like, yeah, so money is kind of rough right now.
Oh, I remember when we were I figured out Santa Claus didn't exist really early on. I was maybe in the 1st or 2nd grade, and I came to my mom's room, and I was like, Mom, Santa Claus not real. She's like, come sit down, babe. Sit down. We started talking about how Santa Claus isn't real. And then I leave the room. I'm gone for probably like 5 minutes. I come back, I'm like, Mom, is the Tooth Fairy and like the Easter Bunny, they're not real either. Like, what does this mean? Like, my whole life is crumbling. And I was a mean older sibling. So as soon as I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, you know, my 3 younger siblings, they had it in for them.
Oof.
Anytime they made me upset, I was like, you know, Santa Claus isn't real, right? Like, just trying to mess up their lives for no reason. But I remember one year when I was in the 5th grade, my parents decided that we were gonna move out of our house and we were gonna live in an RV and we were gonna travel around the US. We were gonna be homeschooled. And when we were done doing that, you know, times were tough. We were pretty poor. And I remember that Christmas, my youngest brother, he asked Santa Claus to bring us a house because we didn't have a house. And I was like, man, Santa Claus isn't real. He can't do that. This is so sad.
Oh my God.
But it's so sweet that my little brother would ask Santa Claus not for whatever he wanted, but for something for our whole family. I love the relationship that you have with your siblings and your parents. I remember the last show at Grumpy's that I came to, I brought like a lot of my friends, and your parents came at the end. And I remember I went up to them, I had a little drink in me, and I was like, I love you guys, like I love your family, like you as parents should be so proud of yourselves and so proud of your kids for the way that you guys interact. Like that is so beautiful. Up until like 3 years ago, I hated my siblings. I was like, don't talk to me. I don't want anyone to know we're related. Like,
oh my God.
You guys are losers. I'm the coolest person y'all have ever met. When it's not like that at all, I might be the less cool sibling, and that's okay. You know, it's okay if I'm not as cool as my younger siblings. You know, I taught them everything they know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
Josh and I got extremely close during the recording of his album, just kind of getting an inside look of everything that he went through.
Yeah.
And those adversities, and like I actually felt very guilty because I was like, oh man, I didn't know half of this. You know, am I working too much? Am I just not involved?
Yeah.
And you know, getting to be a part of those recording sessions, and then, you know, that's how I met all you guys, and, you know, got closer to everybody else that's in the group. And that was a really great experience for us because, you know, we just grew closer, and now, you know, Josh, I'll call Josh all the time to tell him about ideas or just to check up on him. And, you know, same thing with Jacob. Like, once Jacob started maturing a little bit more, you know, we kind of clicked, like, once he started playing music.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it is good.
You guys are so cool. I love it.
I'm proud of them. They're very unique and peculiar at some points, but they're great individuals.
I really love the ocean, and I think anyone who looks at my life can know that. I've always felt really connected to water. My mom says when I got baptized that I started swimming, the River of Tears, but I really love conservation, and I mean, what more can we do for this earth that has given us everything? And I mean, even if you look at it from a religious way, like God has given us this earth, we should take care of it, and we're not taking care of it right now. We're doing an absolutely horrible job. But I was at the beach the other day, and whoever was on beach patrol that day, they had a shirt on that had a sea turtle on the back, and it said UCF Sea Turtle Rescue. And I didn't know that UCF had a sea turtle division. And I'm struggling right now because I signed up to take chemistry over the summer, which is not how I'd like to take chemistry, but as circumstances have it. And I'm really scared because I took chemistry in high school, and I didn't love my teacher. She didn't love me. I was my first C. So I'm really afraid that if I can't pass chemistry, you know, I'm not going to get into the nursing program. And when I picked what I wanted to do in high school, it was between marine biology and nursing. And I mean, I need chemistry for both of those things. So I know that I got to pass this chemistry class this summer if I want to do either of the things that I want to do, but I'm starting to think that I might have maybe chosen a path not meant for me picking nursing, but that also might be because it's difficult and I don't want to do something difficult. I know that I took human anatomy this past semester, and because of quarantine, I passed that class. Because without quarantine, I would have been struggling. But as much as it sucked to be in that class, as much hard work it took, I really enjoyed it. Like, I would go to 3-hour lab sessions Friday nights. I had the worst lab session you could ever have. It was 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It was bad. Like, we had a break, but it still sucked.
Jeez.
But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed learning all of the pathways in the body, how everything is connected. I mean, how everything is connected in our body connects to how everything is connected in the world. And so it sucked, but at the same time, it was super cool. I know Naira wants to do architecture and put it into, like, sustainability, you know, and I love that. That's so dope. If all of us could take everything that we want to do and make it more sustainable, one small step if we all take one small step, then we're
That's
taking a big ass step, you
Yeah.
know? So that really interests me. I feel passionate about that, and it's hard for me to feel passionate about anything. The first moments of depression I had were in the 4th grade, which is really early. And I mean, that makes me understand that it really was a chemical imbalance in my head. You know, I was in the 4th grade, there was nothing going horribly wrong in my life. You know, my parents were together, I was doing really great on the FCAT, but there was just something missing from my life. Growing up Catholic, I didn't know Jesus the way that I learned and met Jesus through non-denominational church. I think it's important when we bring up depression in churches, you know, it makes everyone feel more comfortable. I definitely healed a lot through Jesus with anxiety and depression, and I don't know how I would have healed that part of myself without God. In the 5th grade, I started going to Fellowship Church, which is now called Rethink Life Church, and that was the first non-denominational church I'd ever been to. And you know, my parents would make fun of me. They were like, "Oh, you're going to fake church."
Oh man.
And I don't blame them for that, but it just kind of it was a good thing in my life, and they were putting it down. But I remember I went to a women's conference in the 5th or 6th grade, and one of the speakers, she was talking and she was saying that, you know, just you going through something doesn't have to be as personal as you think it is. You know, you may be suffering now because later in life, your story, your scars, they're going to help heal someone else. Maybe God is putting me through this not to teach me something, but so that I can teach someone else something. I used to self-harm, and I remember the first time that I self-harmed, I could hear God in my head saying, "What are you doing? This isn't right." And that was one of the only times that I've ever heard God talk to me straight up. And any time that I've ever been in a pit that I felt I couldn't climb out of, the Bible always turns to the right page, and I don't know what that is if not the Holy Spirit. You know, I find exactly what I need. How is that not God?